Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside.
Los Island's like the pistols are made to
Got some news today from the radio man. He spoke the words somber and as softly as he can. The world stood still and the sky opened up. I made my way to fill up my coffee cup. Then it occurred to me as the daylight sky shone blue, today's the day that Johnny met June. He waited a while, he knew that he would. He was gonna hang around here for as long as he could. The days went by, and hours idle passed. He was never sure just how long he would last. But there's not much love in a lonely room. Today's the day that Johnny met June.
Have a good summer.
You too.
Thanks.
Hey, you must be bored.
No way.
This is the guy that I was running to in the library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guilty.
Oh my god.
So you like to write on desks?
Yeah, that's what I do.
Now we're starting over, it's the place that we are. You look more pretty underneath all the stars. And love is a burning thing. Oh, how I still love to hear you sing. Oh, and everything we ever heard about heaven is true. Today's the day that Johnny met June. Today's the day that Johnny met June.
And now, with the Liberation News Update. Here are the longest running and slowest running news team in modern history, river and town.
No, Chuck. No, I don't think it's okay that you were front man for the National Rifle Association. What would Moses think? I mean, he used a staff, not a rod. I'm telling you, Mr. Heston, this isn't about Soylent Green. This is about you getting the green for becoming the gun industry's poster boy. Yes, and we're going to pry your gun from your cold, dead hands. And God and the NRA and Cecil B. DeMille can't save you this time. Okay. Yeah, okay. Now what? Oh, you want to plug your next picture? Okay, what's it called? Zombieland. Yeah, sure. We'll be sure to plug it. Yeah, we will. Well, goodbye, Mr. Heston. Goodbye.
Welcome to Gun Logic, where everything makes sense all of the time because it just does. Gun Logic is now spreading to other parts of society with impressive results. Laws governing everything from traffic to banking to murder are stripped away. Because after all, if murder is outlawed, only outlaws will murder. Similarly, only law-abiding citizens obey laws about fraud, racketeering, and cruelty. So clearly we don't need those freedom-killing laws either. In fact, numerous studies prove that only law-abiding citizens abide by laws. So why do we even need the tyrannical oppression of laws anyway? Gun logic dictates that the Second Amendment refers to arms, not guns. Therefore, nuclear arms are indeed protected by our founding fathers. And if in the unlikely event a dark and twisted individual uses nuclear arms for evil, the answer is to solve all the nation's mental health problems, not infringe on the rights of law-abiding nuclear arms enthusiasts. Remember, law-abiding people don't need laws. And if it works on a bumper sticker, it's a great way to run the country. Gun logic. It just makes sense. And now that there are no laws, tyrannical or otherwise, you must buy more guns to protect yourself from this lawlessness.
Welcome to the news.
All the news that's fit to shoot.
This time the show is dedicated to a look at the problems of violence in our society, mostly demonstrated through the use of guns. Big guns, little guns, automatic, semi-automatic, and just plain revolvers. Mass killings, single killings, accidental killings. There's blood everywhere.
Each year we have over 36,000 gun-caused deaths. This includes the over 20,000 gun suicide deaths. It doesn't include 29,000 additional injuries related to firearms, which are often quite serious and life-altering. And it doesn't include the deaths that occur more than a week after a shooting, which are not included in the official shooting death stats. The number of unintentional shootings is also on the rise. Current data and CDC gun violence statistics show that in 2019, approximately 90 people were unintentionally shot in the United States every day. Although gun violence statistics worldwide are growing, the United States rate of killing growth is even higher. Analysts and experts attribute this to lax laws on firearm purchase and possession. In addition, more guns are also finding themselves into the hands of minors or inexperienced owners. The latest data reflects that at least one person will die in the United States as a result of an accidental shooting every 16 hours.
All you patriots everywhere, you red-blooded Americans, oath keepers, and proud boys and your families, don't miss your once-in-a-lifetime chance to come on down to the annual bi-monthly, Open every weekend. Blood of the Lamb Patriots Day Bicentennial Liberation Brew All-American Gun Show. Come and see and sample the finest American-made, except for all the Chinese stuff, weaponry of every kind. Sample the most advanced automatic pistols and bazookas made with the newest 3D machines. Relax at the Slaughterhouse Cafe with the family in a newly imported Bradley Vintage World War II tank replica. As our special guest, retired Lieutenant General and National Security Advisor Michael Flynn regales you with stories of collateral damage and the finest enhanced interrogation techniques. And you can find the perfect weapon for that special occasion as you scan our 100 weapons booths. Come on down, folks, to the historic Cleveland Arena, rebuilt with the finest Russian steel and Saudi oil on the soil of the legendary Cuyahoga County Fairgrounds, especially for this sacred event. Come see, come sample, and be part of this patriotic blast. No commies or liberal fascist Antifas allowed.
Now, the story has been that our history was always violent, and some of that is true. Our violence towards Native Americans and African Americans is well documented. But we also have for years celebrated the stories of the noble cowboys facing each other in the dusty street and settling everything with their six-shooters. There's also an image that the Wild West was full of shoot-'em-up, gangs terrorizing the poor town folk. The facts, however, are different. Most towns had efficient law enforcement organizations, and in most towns, there wasn't much of a need. Cowboys had six-shooters to help them herd the cows and to keep predator animals away. Dime novels magnified and glorified the few eccentric gunmen. But the cause of death for most folk was not gunshots, but one of a myriad of illnesses and diseases that the rest of Americans suffered from. So much for the quick draw or the shootout. There were few and far between. One thing was noted by Native Americans was how disgustingly smelly the cowboys were. The cowboys' guns weren't so dangerous, but it might kill you if you came close enough to smell them.
Today, we're going to be learning what to do in the event of an active shooter. We're going to bring in a special guest. She's actually an expert on this, and she's going to be leading our team building event. This is Kaylee.
If there was an active shooter, you'd all be dead. When you talk out loud, the shooter can tell where you are and where you're hiding. Sometimes we play the game who can stay quietest the longest, so we all remember. You can try and protect your friends by pushing the tables and chairs against the doors. You also have to put a piece of paper over the door window so they can't see in. And you can't cry. It gives away your position and your hiding spot. And if you're in the bathrooms, you have to stand on the toilet seat and crunch down so they can't see your feet and they can't see your head, so they don't know that you're in there.
That's crazy.
Try to listen for things that could help the police. For example, if you hear a lot of bangs like bang, 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 the shooter might be down the hall. Or if you hear louder ones like bang, 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 he could be right outside your door. If the shooter comes in the room, screaming won't do anything. You have to try and fight back. If you can't escape, we get taught the emergency window escape plan, where you have to break a window, put clothes over the frame, and climb through. Our teacher used to sing a song to make it easy to remember. Lock down, let's all hide. Lock the doors and stay inside. Crouch on down, don't...
According to some of the most shocking gun violence stats, most children in the United States are in danger of being a victim of gun crime. In fact, firearm-related injury is the second most common cause of death for children behind cancer, accounting for 15% of all child deaths.
Dude, this is your brother's room. He'd kill us if he knew we were in here. which is why we have to leave it exactly how it was.
Man, what is it? You're driving me crazy.
It's gotta be here somewhere.
A gun? Is it real?
Oh yeah, it's real.
Well, does he know you know where it is?
No, he leaves it unlocked.
Well, can I hold it?
No, it's my brother's gun.
Come on, it's not like it's loaded.
Because I said no.
Come on, just for a sec.
No!
Just for a sec.
Thousands of children are being trained themselves to use automatic weapons.
Hi, boys and girls, ready to get started?
Hey guys, today we have this. This is the SIG M18, and this is a type of P320, but it has this compact slide, and just look at that gun. It is so beautiful, and it has the Romeo Zero with a SIG shield on it. Pretty much everything on this gun is SIG, but just look at that color of brown. I love that, bruh. I love it.
It's really cool. And this version also has a safety on it, too.
Yes, it does. I can't move it, but...
The Bullets and Burgers shooting range in the Arizona desert promotes itself in online videos as a place for family fun, firing machine guns. It's one of several Las Vegas area tour stops that offers visitors a chance to try out exotic weapons.
Rock and roll, baby.
Mojave County Sheriff's Office shows the moments before the accidental shooting of Bullets and Burgers employee Charles Vaca.
Okay, turn this leg forward. There you go, just like that.
Uzi submachine gun, a weapon that can fire 16 rounds a second.
All right, go ahead and give me one shot. All right.
Then the gun is set to automatic.
All right, full auto.
The gun recoiled, pointed up, and Vaca was shot in the head and killed.
Do you feel that a 9-year-old girl with no experience can shoot an Uzi effectively and be trained properly to do that?
I mean, look at your news reports. There's people younger than 9-year-old handling AK-47s in the Middle East right now.
I don't think anybody's condoning that, though, sir.
I mean, can a child be trained? Certainly.
Obviously, not everyone agrees with that, even in the U.S. Uzis are powerful weapons.
You know, even though it's only a 9mm, there's still a lot of recoil, and it happens again and again and again. So the first time you're not ready for it, it's going to start rocking you back.
And it's not the first time this has happened. This 8-year-old boy shot himself in the head and died after shooting an Uzi into a pumpkin at a gun show.
1 in 3 children in the United States lives in a household that stores a loaded and unlocked firearm.
Shots fired. Everybody get hard cover.
This jaw-dropping scene starts with Florida deputies taking cover behind a tree.
It's either a shotgun or a long gun. Female has it in her hand. Juvenile male looks like he has something in his hand as well.
And it quickly escalated.
Put the gun down now! She's pointing the gun. Pointing the gun behind the trash can.
The stunning 90-minute sequence released as an edited 9-minute video by the Volusia County Sheriff's Department.
Where have we gone wrong that 12-year-old and 14-year-old think it's okay to take on law enforcement?
Then broke into a nearby home where they found hundreds of rounds of ammunition, a handgun, a shotgun, and according to the homeowner, an unassembled AK-47.
A woman is dead after a toddler got hold of a gun?
A toddler shoots dad and pregnant mother with one bullet.
Shot in the head by her 3-year-old son. This morning, a toddler shot his sister dead.
America's got a real problem. It's time we did something. We need to lock them up. Not the guns. That's just un-American. The toddlers. Round them up. Deport them. Get them out of our country. And keep them away from our guns. Guns don't kill people. Toddlers kill people. Keep America safe. Stop the toddlers now at toddlerskill.org.
Shootings are up in major cities of the country, including Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Miami, Phoenix. They're up 64% in New York City, by much more than that in Chicago. Mayor Lightfoot, complaining about the prevalence of guns in her community, explained that with less than half of the population, Chicago has 3 times as many guns out of their population as New York City and Los Angeles combined. But guns keep flooding in from surrounding states that have weak gun laws.
A new bill passed and signed into law by Governor Greg Abbott eliminates the requirement for Texas residents to obtain a license to carry handguns if they're not prohibited by state or federal law from possessing a gun. You need a license to drive. You need to register to get a card to take out a library book. But in Texas and a number of other states, you find a gun, you buy a gun, you carry a gun.
This spring, Ohio passed the Stand Your Ground law that states you don't have to retreat from a confrontation before you shoot somebody. That means if someone gets in your face, you can blow their face off and not be held accountable in 26 of our states that also now have such laws.
Here's a particularly interesting note. Police officers are 75% more likely to be victims of gun violence in high gun ownership states than in low gun ownership states. We're going now to our remote out at the gun show with our sports reporter Biff Barf on special assignment, asking what kind of deals these customers are getting. I'm just here to find a friend that I'm looking for. I guess we'll just have to look around some more.
Is this what you're looking for?
Yeah, friend. Thank you.
Well, I got a deal on this gun here. I mean, it looks a little green and gill, but I don't know. Somebody told me it was a toy, but I paid $750 for it. Better not be a toy. Let me try it out on you guys.
I came here to use good guns, man. I'm looking for good guns. And this is what I'm trying to do. And I get this thing. Some guy told me what a great gun this was. And now they're telling me it's a toy.
I bought that gun.
Yeah, he's the guy.
Very interesting comments by those customers. According to a Times poll in 2019, 59% of our polled population thought mass shootings by Americans pose the biggest safety threat to them. 16% fear foreign terrorist attacks, and 25% fear religious extremists.
Amnesty International warns travelers to exercise caution when visiting the United States due to its gun violence problem. A number of countries have also issued similar advisories to their citizens. Our people are 25 times more likely to die from gun homicide than people in other wealthy countries.
Whether it's a church in South Carolina, or a church in Texas, a high school or a nightclub in Florida, or a synagogue in Pennsylvania, 418 mass shootings took place in the U.S. last year. Gun violence severity in high school shootings has increased by over 50%. 82 mass shootings took place on U.S. soil between 1982 and December of 2019 and involved guns that were legally obtained. Yet we still haven't gotten a universal background check passed or an assault weapons ban passed.
Every time there's another mass shooting in America, politicians have the same idea.
Overnight, the quiet town of Sutherland Springs, Texas, trying to come to grips with the nation's latest horrific mass shooting. More than 24 people were killed during Sunday services at this small Baptist church. The victims ranging in age from 5 to 72 years old. Law enforcement officials tell NBC News the shooter was 26-year-old Devin Patrick Kelly, dressed all in black, wearing tactical gear, and armed with a Ruger AR rifle. He started firing outside the church and then entered the building, opening fire on parishioners.
What is your age?
21. Dylan Roof stood emotionless as he heard the charges against him. 9 counts of murder for the 3 men and 6 women investigators say he gunned down Wednesday night.
All units responding, 110 Calhoun State.
Active shooter, multiple people down.
New details emerged today about Wednesday's horrific rampage. According to a warrant for his arrest, Roof, seen here on surveillance video, entered Emmanuel AME Church around 8:06 p.m. wearing a fanny pack. After attending a Bible study class for an hour, the court documents say he stood up and pulled out a handgun and began shooting. All 9 victims were shot multiple times. The warrant says that before Roof left, he stood over a witness and uttered a racially inflammatory statement. CBS News has learned Roof told a witness that he had spared her life so she could tell others what happened. In addition to her, a woman and a 5-year-old boy also survived by playing dead.
Yesterday's shooting rampage at the Tree of Life synagogue, say police, a hate crime, didn't just leave 11 dead, it left a city stunned. The accused, Robert Bowers, reportedly shouted, "All Jews must die," as he opened fire.
In the wake of yesterday's massacre at a synagogue, 11 killed, 6 wounded, the deadliest anti-Semitic attack in the history of the United States. We are learning more tonight about the victims of the attack. People killed while worshiping, gunned down because they were Jewish.
Shots fired, second floor.
Just as workers were preparing to leave for the weekend, shots rang out at a Virginia Beach city office building Friday afternoon. 12 dead and 4 injured. Police say the gunman used a .45 caliber handgun with multiple extended magazines. The gun had a sound suppressor muffling the sound of the shots. The victims were found on all 3 floors of the building and one outside in a vehicle. The FBI and state police are involved in the ongoing investigation, but say the danger is now over and the recovery can begin.
The 3 shootings happened within a 7-mile radius in the towns of Newton and Heston. Around 3:30 p.m., a sheriff deputy served Cedric Ford with a permanent protection order at Excel Industries. An hour later, Ford did not return from his break at work. Then around 5 p.m., investigators say Ford shot a man in a neighborhood near his Newton home. Just moments later, Ford shot a driver and stole the vehicle. Then minutes later, Ford drove to the Excel Industries plant and shot 14 people.
2 law enforcement sources tell CBS News 57-year-old Samuel Cassidy, a Santa Clara Valley Transportation Authority employee, started shooting people at a light rail yard around 6:30 a.m. Pacific time. Investigators say 8 employees were killed and several more injured. The accused gunman is also dead. The bomb squad is also on the scene searching for potential explosive devices.
Police in Austin. The shooting happened early Saturday morning in a very busy entertainment district in downtown Austin. Lots of bars and restaurants. In fact, since things are back open, they were seeing pre-pandemic crowds. So lots of people were in the area at the time when shots rang out. And but fortunately, officers were already in the area, so they were able to react quickly and help the wounded. In fact, some of them were actually able to pull some of the victims into their own police cars and then transport them to the hospital. Right now, we know that one suspect is in custody, a juvenile. Meanwhile, another suspect is at large. And as far as what may have sparked this violence, officials are saying that this was a dispute between 2 parties.
Jesus Christ, that was real? There's 100 people that are on the ground bleeding out right now. Go, go! We have an active shooter in Route 91 assessment. We need SWAT here now. Everybody that's hit in the back of my truck, sir.
3 tours in Iraq, and I'm doing this shit again. There's thousands of people dead. Please just go.
It's not real gun.
It's fireworks. It's fireworks. Stop.
Shit. Seriously? I don't know what's going on.
Everybody go! Everybody go! Go across the street! When? From that direction. AK-47. That's what I thought I heard too, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of cops out here. Be careful.
No way, they're shooting at us!
Where's she hit? Where's she hit? Where's she hit? Oh my God! I'm on the shot! I'm on figure it out!
He's got a big old, he's got a 100 meters.
Security!
Get down!
Where's
You've got to go. Look at me. Look at me. You're not going to help him. Go.
Shooting at the festival across from the Mandalay Bay. Please try to stay away. All right, so now you got people running.
Hey, they're shooting right at us, guys. Everybody stay down. Stay down. Where's it at? Come out of the window.
North of the Mandalay Bay. Come out of the window.
Hey, let's get on. If you can move, get on the truck. Hey, come here, buddy. Come here. I got it. Come here. Come here. Ready? Come on. 1, 2, 3, get up. Come on.
I know, I'm a fucking paramedic and I'm hit.
In the wake of several mass shootings in the recent years, including those in Las Vegas, Sutherland Springs, Texas, Parkland, Florida, Pittsburgh, Thousand Oaks, California, Virginia Beach, Virginia, El Paso, Texas, Dayton, Ohio, and Midland, Odessa, Texas, the federal government banned the sale of bump stock devices in December of 2018. But prior to that, thousands of the bump stocks were being sold to the public, and some were even bought in bulk.
Statistics of gun violence reflect that sales of bump stocks, devices which can be attached to semi-automatic weapons to increase their fire rate, have led to devices being in the hands of nearly 500,000 U.S. citizens. The U.S. Department of Justice estimates a total of 539,000 bump stocks to still be in civilian circulation. Now in these times of trouble, we at Liberation Brew turn to Sister Judy and the feel-good ministry of the air.
And now, brought to you through your goodwill offerings and the grace of our Lord. Remember, for every $100 gift, you receive your own personal Jesus car deodorant on a sacred string. And now, put your hands together for the feel-good ministry of the air. Welcome, Sister Judy K.
Well, welcome. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Feel Good Ministry of the Air, and I'm Sister Judy K. We're coming to you from the beautiful Baker Mansion in downtown Altoona, Pennsylvania. And today we have a very special show for you. You know, Brother Billy Dan Jim is not here with us today. He's continuing the mission that Reverend Joe Bob Ed began to bring Barbies to the needy, unfortunate children of the world. Brother Billy Dan Jim is currently bringing our special babies to all those wonderful children of the people that fought for our country on January 6th. All the folks that are in prison, all their children are going to get a beautiful a Barbie doll just to help them out and make that transition better for them. Isn't that wonderful, Jim? Yes. Well, today we want to announce the finalists from among our God-fearing friends in the special drawing for one of St. Peter's sacred toenail clippings, recently discovered in the 1st century urinal in the hills of the Holy Land. I don't know if, am I allowed to say urinal on the air, Jim? And now set in amber by the finest European craftsmen. Oh, it's so beautiful. And these lucky blessed parishioners are Mr. Benjamin Barthelnum of Sinister Falls, Tennessee, Mrs. Frederica Fallobrain of Empty Hill, Alabama, and Sylvester Shallow-Sense of Fackless County, Massachusetts. Their contributions are helping the Lord and stop the steal fund, you know, because we want to get that sacred president of ours, Donald Trump, back where he belongs. And they're going to be present for the final drawing down with President Trump at Mar-a-Lago, and it's going to happen next month. And you know, he's our true president. Well, as you know, our Lord Jesus Christ wants you to keep your guns. And I'm sure he said the best way to stop a bad man is for a good man to have 2 guns. And I want you to think about that a little bit too. And you know, our Lord knows there's a lot of good men out there. Jim, can you tell the good people more about the cause?
That's right, folks. The Patriots Free America Gun Range out on Route 666 at the corner of Grace and Hades, just down the street from the Second Amendment Cafe, is contributing $1 from each admission to the Protect Jesus campaign, with a special 50-cent contribution from every box of AR-15 and Uzi ammo going to the Stop the Steal Foundation and the Bullets for Bad Guys Fund. Help America, save Jesus, and learn to blow away bad guys at the same time. Bring your wife, bring your husband, bring the kids for the best in family fun in the land. And don't forget your guns.
Thank you, Jim. Now, from time to time, one of our parishioners sends us a story that they believe will inspire good Christian people, and I hope you get that out of it today. This one is from Mrs. Maybelline Muchhowlin of Feeble Mind Parish, Louisiana. Well, it seems one night a lady came home from her weekly prayer meeting. That's you know, it shouldn't be just weekly, by the way. Just as an aside, right, Jim? It should be much more often. As she entered her dark house, she realized her home was being robbed. Oh, Lord. And so, knowing her Bible, she shouted out, Acts 2:38, surrender, repent, and be baptized, and your sins will be forgiven. The shocked robber quickly gave up, and the lady rang the police. While handcuffing, let me just get back up there, Jim, to the story. While handcuffing the criminal, a policeman said, Hey, man, you surrendered pretty easily. How come you gave up so quick? The robber replied, Well, she said she had an axe and 2 .38s. I wasn't going to mess with that. Well, in some way, we do have 2 .38s when you read that Bible. You know, that Bible will be all, just goes along with packing our real 38s too. Well, I guess it's good to know that, isn't it, Jim? And also to carry guns for Jesus in the protection of our good Lord. So, you know, one of the things that we're doing is making sure that we fully support the Protect Jesus bill, which is being sponsored by Senator Sam Yosemite to honor the second commandment and encourage all God-fearing parishioners in our nation to carry concealed weapons during religious services. It's high time we honor Jesus and protected America at the very same time. Jim, why don't you tell our friends how they can help?
That's right, folks. The Feel Good Ministry of the Air is offering you once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to receive your own personalized car deodorant on a sacred string for each $25 goodwill offering you make to Reverend Joe Bob Ed's campaign to arm our religious workers with not just the word of our Lord, also the power and the ammunition to defeat all those who would defile God's house. So don't miss this opportunity to do something good for Jesus and get your car smelling godly at the same time. Just call 1-800-KILL-FOR-JESUS.
Thank you, Jim. Well, we can see by the clock on the wall that it's time for us to go now. And I just want you to remind that, go out and get your gun, carry it to church so you can protect all the good Christian people. And don't forget that I am Sister Judy Kay, and you know what? You are wonderful. Bye-bye.
The Lord ain't suckered by no idle bones, 'cause the Lord don't take no crap.
District Court Judge Benitez of San Diego ruled that California's assault weapons ban violates the Second Amendment rights to bear arms and deprives Californians from owning assault-style weapons commonly allowed in other states. Benitez issued a permanent injunction so the law cannot be enforced. Assault weapons have been banned in California since 1989. The law has been updated several times since it was originally passed, but Benitez really didn't think that was a good idea. Like the Swiss Army knife, the popular AR-15 rifle is a perfect combination of home defense weapon and homeland defense equipment, Benitez said in the ruling. Firearms deemed as assault weapons are fairly ordinary, popular, modern rifles. I'm told now we are going back to the gun show to hear from some more responsible gun owners.
Well, I've come to these shows many times, but this time they're giving me a hard time because of my mask. Well, I was wearing this darn mask because I wanted to see and test out this new gas gun. It's a gas, I'll tell you.
Well, no, I'm just looking around.
Scatter, it's the feds! Oh man, I love these shows, man, but I make my own deal. I come in packing this. Y'all should be packing something, you hear?
This year, my mom got me the perfect bag for back to school.
These colorful binders help me stay organized.
These headphones are just what I need for studying.
These new sneakers are just what I need for the new year.
This jacket is a real must-have.
My parents got me the skateboard I wanted. It's pretty cool.
These scissors really come in handy in art class. These colored pencils, too.
These new socks, they can be a real lifesaver.
I finally got my own phone to stay in touch with my mom.
As we struggle to pass laws, people of color have other issues to consider. Almost 18% of gun homicide victims in the United States are black males. Gun violence statistics in 2019 show rates in communities of color have now reached epidemic proportions. Unfortunately, for residents in these types of areas, the majority end up paying for the mistakes of the few. Most gun crimes in these areas are caused by around 10% of the individuals.
Gun control keeps everyone safe.
Or maybe she understands that we can't protect people from bad guys with guns if we don't have good guys with guns.
Sarah, even today, a lot of gun control laws really end up being about controlling black people.
In the mid-2000s, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms performed 10 years of stings to combat gun crime. A full analysis found that 91% of people arrested were people of color. And we're not just talking about the red states. For years, New York City had an official policy to stop black and brown people on the street just to see if they might have guns or drugs. Men in my family have gotten jaywalking tickets from the NYPD after they didn't find anything in the stop and frisk. They weren't stopping criminals, they were just stopping black people.
There's a connection between the overly punitive gun sentencing laws that were passed in the 1970s, 1980s, and 1990s and the current crisis of mass incarceration. Instead of national gun control laws that could stop the flood of available guns, we have local laws that penalize possession, and those laws are mostly passed in cities. So the result is that guns are everywhere, violence is rampant, and the only people who go to prison for possessing guns are poor people of color in our nation's cities.
Black people face the highest rates of deaths by guns. But instead of protecting the families and neighborhoods who face the most gun violence, our current gun laws just double down on destroying them.
And that's why we shouldn't talk about new gun penalties without first talking about how we transform our criminal legal system.
That's something you need to realize too. Gun rights don't protect black people either. Take the Stand Your Ground law the NRA pushed legislators to pass in Florida. It says use of deadly force is justified to defend yourself in your home or car, even if you could run away. But in practice, not everyone gets to use it. Marissa Alexander was sentenced to 20 years in prison just for firing a warning shot to defend herself against her abusive husband. Stand Your Ground didn't help her. Or look at what happened to Philando Castile. During a routine traffic pullover, he informed the police officer that he had his gun on him. And the cop shot and killed him in front of his girlfriend and her 4-year-old daughter. Bang! That is the exact moment Philando Castile was shot. He did everything that responsible gun owners are supposed to do. And the NRA didn't come to his defense. For all that talk about protecting gun rights, they sure are quiet when black people are gunned down for exercising them. Black people are in jail, are dead, for exercising gun rights you enjoy so freely. And Sarah, I'm hurt, because as my partner, you don't see that the gun control you have the privilege to fight for ignores the systemic persecution that I live in fear of every single day.
52% of gun homicide victims in the whole of the United States are black males, despite black males making up only 7% of the United States population. Facts about gun violence and results from studies on gun homicide deaths over the last decade show that black Americans were also up to 10 times more likely to be shot and killed than white Americans.
When it comes to interaction with police, we find that people of color are between 2 to 3 times as likely to be killed as white Americans. The New York Times reports at least 70 people aged 19 to 65 who have died in the past decade while in police custody spoke their last words, "I can't breathe." A majority have been stopped for nonviolent infractions, and more than half were black. This year so far, 50 people with mental illnesses have been shot and killed by police. These are problems that must be addressed no matter what we do about the gun violence.
Listen to the sound of my voice. Nothing else matters. You have no one. You are alone. Except for me and guns. You are surrounded by terrorists, haters, killers, liars. Feel them closing in. Closer, closer. Everyone is lying to you. Except you and me. We're the good guys, not them. They're the bad guys. The others, those kids, the IRS, the United Nations, Bloomberg, Obama, the media, the elite. They will tell you facts. You do not need facts. You need guns. Sweet, sweet guns. Your only friends. Not them. They are bad guys. They are coming to take your guns, your ammunition, your family, to steal your car, punch your head, invade your home. You are alone, except for me and guns. You will stand, you will fight for us, for our values. We are good. The others are bad. Stand your ground. Everywhere you look, something has gone wrong. You will fix it with our guns. Our guns. Everywhere. Madmen are famous. You should be famous. You can be famous. You have a special kind of backbone to reject the world that surrounds you. Stand. Fight. You are alone, except for me and guns. When I snap my fingers, you will give me money. You will buy more guns from manufacturers, who will in turn give me more money.
Thank you very much, and let's save this country together.
Opponents of gun rights are celebrating today following a Supreme Court decision to uphold a citizen's right to carry a gun at head level in public. While critics have long claimed the practice is dangerous, gun advocates say holding a gun at head level at all times is necessary for self-defense.
A man can't feel safe unless he knows his gun is pointed at every other man's temple.
I'm a single mom, so I can't take chances with my baby's safety.
The NRA is hoping that this ruling will push the courts to recognize other gun owner rights, such as the right to put a gun in someone's mouth while crushing their throat with his boot.
And President Biden's Committee on Gun Violence has recommended to Congress that they ban the sale of guns to anyone currently on a shooting spree. The ban, which would make it more difficult for individuals in the process of shooting other individuals to purchase additional assault rifles, was met with fierce opposition from gun rights advocates. In a press release today, NRA Executive Vice President Wayne LaPierre said, quote, "What if you're in the middle of shooting your family and then a criminal breaks into your house? This law says you can't get ammunition to defend your home." Many gun owners agree with the NRA's position.
What do they mean by spree exactly? If I kill one person a year for 20 years, for example, are they saying I can't buy a gun that whole time?
Look, I'm a sportsman, and let's say I'm shooting up a mall or movie theater and I want to take a moment to shoot some deer. That's my right.
And now, Vice President Biden insists that no one is talking about a widespread ban, only background checks on blood-soaked maniacs who are currently killing people. But LaPierre maintains more guns aren't the problem, they are the solution. The only way to stop a bad guy on a killing spree is a good guy on a killing spree.
A federal judge recently dismissed the National Rifle Association's bankruptcy case, leaving the powerful gun rights group to face a New York State lawsuit accusing the NRA of financial abuses and that aims to put it out of business. The NRA, which has led the fight against reasonable gun rights legislation for decades, has fallen on hard times after their leaders have been accused of various forms of embezzling activities. All this as their membership has plummeted in recent years.
He's the guy.
In spite of that, state legislators and congresspeople have continued taking contributions to vote against what NRA members and the national public want: reasonable gun regulations.
So may all your news be good news.
And every child get a new AK-47.
We could be the healing when you're feeling all alone. We can be the reason to find the strength to carry on. In a world that's so divided, we shall overcome. We can be the healing. We can be the flower in the gun. We can be the healing. We can be the flower in the gun. What could I say to my son or to my daughter if they came and asked me about these days? What kind of reason could I give for all the hate that's standing in the way? Wish I could tell them that nobody's gonna judge them, and every stranger on the block is gonna love them. No bully in the world could ever hurt him, but I can't say that today. No, no one could ever take your pride from you. Speak your truth and let your spirit fly. Cause we could be the heroes when you're feeling all alone. We could be the reason, to find the strength to carry on. In a world that's so divided, we shall overcome. We could be the healing. We could be the flower and the gun. We could be the healing. We could be the flower and the gun.
What could I say to every woman who was ever told by a man, don't try to reach too high? What could I say to every girl who was betrayed and told to keep the pain locked inside? Wish I could say nobody's ever gonna judge me. Every stranger on the block is gonna love me. Nobody in the world is gonna hurt me, but I can't say that today. No, no, no one could ever take my pride from me. I speak my truth and let my spirit fly.
Cause we could be the healing when you're feeling all alone. We could be the reason, to find the strength to carry on. In the world that's so divided, we shall overcome. We could be the healing. We could be the flower and the gun. We could be the healing. We could be the flower and the gun. It's like dropping pebbles into the ocean and seeing them spread ripples around the world. Let me hear you say, whoa, whoa,
Whoa,
yeah,
yeah,
whoa, whoa,
whoa,
yeah. Everybody say, whoa, 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 yeah,
yeah.
whoa, whoa, yeah. Cause we could be the healing when you're feeling all alone. We could be the reason, to find the strength to carry on. In the world so divided, we shall overcome. We could be the healing. We could be the flower and the gun. We could be the healing. We could be the flower and the gun. We could be the healing. We could be the flower and the gun. We could be the healing. We could be the flower and the gun.
But I think you're the best thing on TV since Golardy.
Hello, Liberal Bias TV. I'm just calling to make a suggestion. Why don't you have like a debate between opposing viewpoints on your, instead of having just a one-sided conversation all the time? Because then you might be more like a legitimate news show instead of just plain straight-up propaganda.
So do you believe American fathers are fairly thinking on it? You're in the minority, you know that, right?
I have never seen such insufferable trash in my life.